There was a lady in Auschwitz. Her name was Chana. Chana's entire family was destroyed, was killed in the hands of the devil by the Nazis. And she miraculously, although she wanted to not many times survive, but she survived the war. She lost everything, and finally when the war came to an end, all she wanted to do was to rebuild, was to restart, was to build a family, have Yiddish nachas. All of her kids were killed. And she looked and looked, and she found another man, went through the same thing, lost his entire family. They got married. Months, years went by, no kids. Waiting, no kids. She was so distraught, and those feelings that she felt back in Auschwitz of not wanting to live resurfaced very strongly. And many times, she would just think, Ribbon Shalom, what do you want from me? How much more can I endure? How much pain? How much more suffering can I go through? I lost my entire family, all my children, my husband, my parents were killed. It's finally a time, the war is over and I can rebuild, I have the opportunity. And I'm waiting for children, and it's been years. And every night she would cry and cry until the unthinkable, the unimaginable struck. One Friday she went out shopping for Shabbos, went for chicken, went for fish, and she left a pot on the stove, simmering in her house. Totally forgot about it, and boom, entire house up in flames. Her neighbors were well aware of her inner turmoil, her and her husband, how they lost everything in the war, how they had no children now, how all they want to do is rebuild. And now, in front of the neighbors' eyes, they see that her house is in flames, is on fire. And all of her possessions, anything that she had, any remnants, heirlooms, possessions that she was able to salvage from the war, all gone. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how she's going to come home, she's going to see, she's going to kill herself. And they decided there was a great tzaddik known as the Goin, Rav Motel Pagramansky. And they went to Rav Motel. They ran and they said, Rav Motel, they said, Chana's going to come home any minute. She will pasha take a gun to her head if she sees what's going on. Tell us what to do. And Rav Motel was game time decision. It's literally pikuach nefashis. This lady will take a gun and end her life if she comes home and sees this scene of her house in flames. The last thing that she had, gone in front of her eyes. Went out shopping for Shabbos, forgot a pot, and now her house is being taken from her. And Rav Motel thinks for a few minutes and says very clearly, you go run to her first, and you tell her that if she's going to be Mekabel, this Yisurim, Be'ahava, if she's going to be Mekabel, accept the circumstance of the situation, I promise you, and I promise her, it's Muftach, she will have a child. They said, Rebbe, I don't know if you understand, we know you're a big goin, but I don't understand, there's doctors, there's track records, there's charts, there's statistics. They told her she is an akara, she's barren, she is not having children. And he said, I promise you she will have children if she's Mekabel. Go run and tell her this before she sees this for herself. They go run to the market, they find her and they say, Chana, sit down, we have news to tell you. And she says, what? Like, what can possibly be now? And they said, listen, your house is currently on fire. There's nothing left. And she starts breaking down. She starts fainting, going unconscious. And they say, before you completely white out, you black out. We just want to tell you, we have a havtacha. If you're mekabel this, somehow, if you're able to gather the courage, the bitachon, to accept this, Rav Mato promises, in the name of God, you are going to have children. And somehow she puts it together, and she's working on herself, and she's working and working. She says, okay, somehow. And she says, I'm mekabel, that this was my house, this is all I had. But if this is the case, I'm going to do it. Years later, her son, name was Rabbi Naftali Greenswag. He was interviewed, he came around and he said, I just want to let you know. He said, I'm not the first son of Chana, I'm not the second, I'm the fifth son of Chana. A result of this episode, of when she thought there was nothing left, of when she thought there was absolutely no more reason to live. She was mekabel b'ahava. She accepted the circumstances, as hard and as challenging, as heart-wrenching, as impossible as it was. And I was the fifth son, against all statistics, against all doctors, against all medicine. I was the fifth son that Chana was zeicha to.